It's my pleasure today to be talking with Naheen Madarbakus Ring. Welcome, Naheen.
Hi, thanks for inviting me.
Thanks for coming. And where are you? Where are you calling from today?
I'm calling from Nagoya in Japan, so central Japan.
Okay, and what kind of teaching do you do there?
So I'm currently at a business university and I teach first years all the way up to fourth years, just fundamental English, which prepares them for their TOEIC tests as well as general English skills. And I also teach electives, which range from reading American literature, such as Great Gatsby, which I'm teaching this term, and also listening electives, so teaching skills and strategies there.
Listening, right? The theme of our issue this month. And so for this article, for the March-April edition of MET, you've written a very useful article on using TED Talks to develop listening skills. So
That's
what motivated you to try TED Talks?
So I know that since the internet has become amazingly broad with a load of resources in the last 10 years, it can be very, very difficult for teachers just to choose different resources and to think about how to use them in the classroom. So we do have a lot of paid sites and free sites where you can go and language is graded, or they have vocabulary lists and things like that. But what motivated me was I wanted to find some kind of structure where we could just use any resource that we wanted to use online as teachers and kind of bring that to the classroom. So I thought in terms of researching the best structure and the best framework to bring into the classroom, it would be good to choose a well-known resource, so hence TED Talks, and think about how we could apply framework and structure to something as well known as that, and then hopefully that could provide us with a flexible framework to bring to other resources too.
And now you've actually done a PhD on using TED Talks for listening, is that right?
I have. Yep, I have.
And what was sort of one main interesting finding out of that?
So I found that if you as a teacher were quite confident, you could bring any resource to any level to an extent, and you would be able to get your students to take away something from the lesson. So in terms of that, what I'm talking about is the grading of a lesson. We tend to look at TED Talks and think, no, I can't do that with any student who's upper intermediate and above only. So we can't really use it with a pre-int or an intermediate. And I think that we sometimes do need to give students the benefit of the doubt, and we do need to bring in a resource. And although their understanding might not be as detailed as an advanced student, for example, that they can still do something with it. And we do need to remember that students want to be exposed to all sorts of topics and resources. So, you know, us being the gatekeepers and taking away that selection isn't fair. We should be able to support them in any way that we can.
Okay. And what's a key thing that readers will get from reading this article?
Hopefully, I've been able to structure how we can use a before, while, and after listening framework in the classroom. Although this does apply to TED Talks, I've tried to give a variety of different resources and activities that we can use. And there's other resources that you can use, and a range of different strategies and skills that can be used as well. So whether you have classes which are 40 minutes or 100 minutes, I hope that there is a range or maybe a selection of things that you can bring to your own teaching context.
Okay. And I know as well that outside of your work, you've started a special interest group.
Yes, I've been in Japan for just over a year now, and so I guess the equivalent of TESOL or ANZ TESOL would be JALT here, so the Japan Association of Language Teachers. And with them, I've been working with a group of people, and we've started up the listening SIG. And the special interest group is now in its second year, and we do welcome members from both domestic and international communities. At the moment, we're still starting up. We've got a newsletter, we've got a website, and we're in the process of organising our first few events, and we're hoping to have our own independent event later this year.
So how would someone like myself go about joining this group?
You can find Listening SIG on the jout.org website, which is the main overarching body for our SIG. You can also just Google Listening SIG and find our WordPress page, and you can find us on Facebook as well.
Great. Okay. One more thing about listening. What is it about listening that draws you in? What do you find so interesting about listening?
I think that it's always been a skill which has been difficult for me to teach as a teacher. I think as a younger sibling, it's been something that I've always found difficult to do. So being able to really find out what is listening, how we can be better listeners, and how we can help our learners to be better at developing their listening skills have been my motivations, both professionally and personally.
Great. Okay, and just to wrap things up, what's something that you like doing outside of teaching?
Japan is now coming up to its summer season, so I am enjoying my second summer where you can enjoy sakura walks, hikes, parks. Unfortunately, last year we had state of emergency, which is the Japanese version of lockdown, so we weren't able to get out as much. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to travel around and enjoy the outdoors a bit more this summer.
Great. Naheen, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Thanks for joining us, and hope to talk again soon.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.